Good morning.
Good morning.
We are coming to you live from Maison Vampire.
You said that good.
If you don't know about this place, let me tell you something. Did you ever watch True Blood? How many people out there are True Blood fans? If you didn't watch True Blood, you might not get it, but this is the Salem equivalent. This is the vampire's lair here, where witches, vampires, shapeshifters of all kinds, and wolf witches come to hang out. And big things are happening here. So we are super excited to be sitting in the thrones here. Note that there are two of them. And we're here with our beauty, Bast. And we've been doing some magic here this morning, and now we are super excited to share so much with you today, so many things, and our amazing special guest.
This is great. We are so excited to be here. Happy holidays, blessed Yule, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a wonderful time. This is a time to come together. Remember family and friends. Love is all around. And guess what? This is the first time Sandra and I have been able to do this in the same room.
Look at us. Since, I don't know, I think since pre-pandemic times, right? Yeah. I think pre-pandemic times. It's amazing. Vaccinations and a little vampire blood, and you're good to go.
The vampire blood was definitely a fabulous boost to my energy today. But we're going to start right away. I'm going to talk to you about the tarot card.
This is our focus. This is my focus going forward for a while.
So here's this handsome fellow, the King of Rods. Oh, thank you, Wands. He is fantastic. He's a powerhouse. He talks about your confidence. He fuels your creative ideas, and he definitely keeps you going.
He is the King of Rods, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. He has a nice big rod, and we all appreciate it because we need that rod. We need that fire to get us through the cold months coming up ahead. Mm-hmm. It will fuel your imagination. It'll help you get your projects done. But it also talks about the continuing of these projects. Mm-hmm. It's the battery that doesn't stop. So as you end a project, you may find yourself involved in new projects. Good opportunities will be abound for 2022. Can you believe that is the next time we're gonna be back on is gonna be next year. So take this energy throughout your workday, your life. Reclaim your passions and realize that they're part of who you are. And this king, he's done it. He has the experience and knowledge and the energy to push you through. He also has that passion. And you know what? It's not called a rod for nothing. So there is going to be a little sexual energy in the air. And it's okay to kick back and enjoy yourself and love yourself. This is all about the confidence and the protection that we need going into the colder months ahead. Absolutely. But a reminder, that fire connected to the sun is reminding us it's coming back. The sun shall return and good things will come for us. Especially during this time of Sagittarius, we have to remember we have our own will and our own strengths, and nothing can really bring you down. As long as you have the confidence and good people around you to support you, you will survive this. This is why I love this throned man. He does a thing for me. Hold on.
But I don't want to get too hung up on his gender, because more than anything, it really is about, it's about that being proactive. It's about taking action and personal sovereignty. The king is the ruler in his own domain, and he doesn't give up his power. And that's something we need to talk about. And definitely when you bring up protection, we're going to focus on that today. I'm so excited to have Amy Blackthorn here.
Yes, Amy.
She's got an amazing book all about protection coming out, and I can't wait to tap into what she's got going on, especially since she's a tea maker And we love tea.
Amy's books sell out at Pentagram constantly. We are thrilled to have Amy on here. And I hope the blessing of the King of Rods are upon her in her creative endeavor that she has going, because I'm sure she's going to talk about new books and new things that she's doing.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to say,
protection book that's coming out in March.
it is, and I'm excited about it.
too.
I can't wait to carry it. Here's one more thing about us ladies. We have rods too.
We definitely do.
We do. I have a really big one at home.
Yeah.
And it's my own.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Bring your own.
Bring your own.
Bring your own.
Bring your own.
Well, one of the things that I want to talk about specifically, and I'm so happy to discuss also with Amy, is protection. And one of the things that I feel is something that we need just all the time. When we talk about crystals in the upcoming book, Awakening the Crystals, which comes out in March at the same time as Amy's book about protection. When we talk about sort of active and passive. So getting involved, with passively with crystals, just having them in the space and just the very presence of them, but also then getting active with them and activating them and working with them each day. And so personally, two of the stones that I'm working with today, and I'm sort of projecting, I've got that on my dominant hand. So I'm actually working with projecting that outward, and that's a shield for me, bloodstone and shungite. So I talked to you a little bit about shungite in the last episode, if you will. So if you want to jump back and watch the replay, that's all the replays are always still available on our page. So you can jump back and watch all about the neutralizing that I do with shungite plates. But this is the shungite I wear on my body, and I project a shield around me. A lot of people talk about shungite as a purifier. It's a water purifier, specifically used to purify drinking water, but it also keeps us safe from EMFs, electromagnetic fields. But beyond that, I feel like it forms a really nice psychic shield. So I like to wear that as part of just my daily practice, getting involved, with just regular filters and shields that I feel like all empaths and psychic workers need, all sensitives, all people that are very sensitive to energy. We need that on a daily basis. That's a bottom line. You need a basic protection each day. Think of it like the magical equivalent of putting on sunscreen. You don't know that you're going to get barraged with harmful rays every minute of the day, but it's there just in case. You just want to be good about, it's like putting a moisturizer on, putting on something. It should be just a simple part of your daily practice. But beyond that, there are other stones that I work with that I absolutely love. One of them is the desert rose. I don't know if you've seen this, but it literally looks like a little rose. The Native Americans believed that warriors from spirit basically came back and strewn them across the land as a way to protect the land. So if you're looking to protect property, a desert rose is a beautiful way to do that. So in your home, it looks very pretty, but it also serves a good purpose. Personally, black kyanite, I call these my witch's brooms. These are little black kyanite brooms. And that sweeps away negativity. So that keeps the BS away. That sweeps away negativity. Black tourmaline, on the other hand, and if you're in the Crystal Coven, then you know this. Black tourmaline is like a battery. So I keep big honking chunks of that in my home because that absorbs people's negativity that's thrown at me and turns it into a battery that fuels all my projects. So I take all that love that's being shown to me from my haters and I turn it into juice to do new and exciting projects, which Leanne and I have definitely for 2022, some absolutely incredible things planned that we're not ready to share just yet. Not until the ink is dry, but just trust and believe that it's coming. So any energy that gets thrown at me for my good or ill, I know how to use it. And that's an important lesson, is anybody that's throwing anything at you, you don't have to stress about it. You just have ways of cleaning it. You have ways of cleaning it. Just like when you filter water through a filter in your home so you can drink it, so you don't get any of the harmful stuff, just the good stuff. When people start throwing things my way, I start using that juice. So all the time, just don't stress about people, this one's talking or that one's talking and these ones are gossiping and this one's running and telling. Don't worry about it. Just use it. Just use it, honey. Just use it. Now, one of the best stones that I've been working with recently, and Leanne's going to love this. 2 things. One, lepidolite.
You can put it on.
One, lepidolite.
This is mine. Thank you.
So that's called the giggle stone. One of the things that specifically is protecting against is nightmares. And I've heard a lot of people lately having a lot of stressful dreams and nightmares. So if you are one of those people that's having anxiety dreams, or, you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night and then you can't go back to sleep, lepidolite. Okay, that's one. It's the giggle stone. And you cannot stay in a bad mood when you got that on. And the other that's really powerful is mahogany obsidian. So colors of protection for witches, red and black, is super powerful. And so this particular beautiful skull that belongs now to Miss Leanne Rama.
This is going to help me for my mediumship readings when I get too much energy. And when too much information is coming out at once, it's going to help me digest. Thank you.
That's right.
Thank
so
you.
That's a protection. One of the things that we always talk about is how empaths, psychics, and other people who are really psychically sensitive, ways that they can help filter and ways that they can help ground themselves, ways that they can keep themselves from absorbing a lot of the grief. And it's very heavy work. It is very heavy work to do that mediumship. But it's important work. And so we worry about mediums becoming fatigued. This is something that we've seen for years and years working with psychics. They do become fatigued. And when you're tired, you're not necessarily at your best, right? So we need protection specifically, and we're going to be talking to Amy about this too. We need specific protections for people who do that kind of work. And that's going to be super powerful. The other thing that I absolutely love to use, those types of carved crystals, skulls. Many of you know that I am a skull keeper. One of the ways, sometimes a skull will come to me and it already is inhabited with a spirit. And we talk about this in Awakening the Crystals. Other times it's not. Think of it almost like the snail of a shell. Actually it's a little crab. It's one of those little crabs, right? That has to shed the shell and then go into a new shell because it's outgrown the shell. So sometimes those skulls don't actually have spirits in them because it's between spirits, but you can use that as a servitor for asking a protective spirit to come in and protect you and your property. So I think many of you know that I have an entire council of skulls at my house. And so some of them have talker spirits that are communicating, like Leanne intends with this particular skull to have it be a talker and help her with mediumship. There are others that are specifically there as guardians. In fact, our temple guardian is a very specific skull. So so we can talk more about that work. You can always reach Leanne and I, by the way. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. I'm on Instagram under the Psychic Tea. So if you look that up, you'll find me. And you can also reach Leanne there as well. She has her own Instagram. And then we are both on Facebook. I'm on Facebook as facebook.com/Salem Witch. So if you can't find me under my name, just look for facebook.com/Salem Witch and you'll find me. But you can always ask us questions there. Another thing that I do want to say is that if anybody jumps into the comments offering you readings, no bueno. We don't support that. No legitimate psychic needs to jump into our comment section and try to get you to get a reading with them.
Absolutely.
Literally no one. No one does that. No legitimate psychic does that. So please don't ever jump, if anybody jumps into the comments and says, oh, I have a message for you or anything like that, it's a scam. Don't do it. Lou tries very hard to keep that place clean. But if anybody makes it past him, do not be getting readings with anybody. You can call Pentagram and book readings directly with Leanne. So that's who I'm recommending. If you want a good reading, call and book a reading with Leanne. Otherwise, no. And if it's astrology, you know that it's Tim. And we're going to bring Tim on right now. Tim, oh my God, the planets. Yikes.
My,
Can you guys hear me okay? How y'all doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please. Like,
Yeah. Well, coming off, let's see, eclipse season. Let's see, it has been a doozy for quite a few people. And for other people, they got like a boost of energy. But this last eclipse, let's see, on December 4th was a solar eclipse in Sagittarius, and it was the last eclipse now for the Gemini Sagittarius time that we've been this past 18 months. This started in May of 2020, kicking off with the Twin City riots with the George Floyd. The last time this happened, the Gemini Sagittarius influence was 18 years ago, the year 2000, 2001, and that's when the Twin Towers collapsed, of course. And we had to also determine a lot of fact from fiction, and then of course our beliefs of America being indestructible, all of that changing. And this past 18 months we've challenged a lot of beliefs. There's also been a lot of conspiracies, of course, with the information that's being shared, and so many different new avenues of sharing information, and that's been a big thing this past 18 months. But we are getting to the end of that, where we are leaving behind old beliefs and distinguishing fact from fiction, getting back to the basics. And starting January, we enter into a new time frame, another 18-month period of the node in Taurus and the south node in Scorpio. So the nodes are not planets, but they are the path the moon intercepts the path of the sun, and for lack of a better explanation, but it's a calculation, mathematical collation of where those paths intercept, and of course point to one, saying one is the destiny and one is our past life that we have to leave behind. So they say if you look back 18 years to kind of see, for anybody that's at least 18 years or older, you can map that. But 18 years ago was when we were getting to a big bubble, where we led into one of the biggest recessions. And so this is just something to keep in mind. Also there's a Pluto return. This is the first time this has ever happened for our country, in America, where Pluto is returning to the exact spot of where it was when this country was formed. There's been many empires that have completely changed or been transformed or fallen and risen up again at that 250-year mark, several empires. And this is all happening in the second house, again, dealing with wealth and money. So I really believe this U.S. is about to undergo a huge transformation this upcoming year in regards to money and a lot of the things, the way we view debt and even cryptocurrency. But that's...
I was just going to say, cryptocurrency and NFTs,
yeah. What is
we
that?
are it's crazy.
God,
Yeah. And this is, I believe, the Uranus.
Of thousands of dollars.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And Uranus in Taurus, I think, is going to be a major key player. Uranus is all about invention, innovation. Taurus rules the domain of money, property, opposite Scorpio, and taxes and investments. So, yes, definitely see a lot of that. What was interesting, I wanted to go back to our full moon eclipse that happened on November 19th. And I was saying it was going to be Biden's birthday and something significant was going to happen with the presidency, but it was actually a day off. His birthday is the 20th. But ironically, on that day of the 19th, there was something that happened. He went for an exam and there was a small transfer of power to Kamala Harris. It was the first time in history that an actual woman had been a president, even though it was just a short time because, he was undergoing a medical procedure. But to happen on the day of the full moon eclipse, this is, to me, they say an omen, and a lot of astrologers are talking about that between now and the next 6 months, there could be some more coming to the surface about that, or Kamala, being that transfer of power. I have said my own predictions in the past. I won't go more into that, but they're just kind of interesting. I wanted to mention that just happened on the full moon eclipse. But going forward, we've gotten through now the eclipse season. For those of us that have a Sagittarius in our chart, I think all three of us have Sagittarius in our chart. I think we were affected by the eclipse energies. Definitely a huge release and letting go of things as well, probably. and having to just kind of reinvent that area for you, Deanne, your first house. So that's kind of like your identity, maybe identity crisis of some sort, reinventing yourself and your goals and all that stuff. But yeah, so moving forward into this month, we have the full moon coming up on the 19th, and that's right around the day that Venus goes retrograde. For the next 6 weeks after that to the end of January. So yeah, not a good time to be starting new relationships, they say. Venus is, of course, the planet of love and favor, rules Libra and Taurus, and so you all might be affected a little bit more, but don't for those all of us, and generally speaking, don't worry too much if the love energies are a little low. Maybe the sex drives aren't where you feel they want to be, because that's normal. They say there's a lot of breakups, a lot of divorces. We'll see what happens.
I'm experiencing the opposite. What figure? How is that possible?
You have the opposite effect.
Maybe it's that Venus spray that I've been using from Storm.
Yes.
There you go. Well, this will start in December 19th, in a couple of weeks to the end of January. So 6 weeks. This is when Venus goes.
I'm getting out ahead of it.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. Yeah.
Venus spray, come down to Pentagram. We have Venus candles. We have Venus soap. We have Venus oil and Venus incense. Stock up, ladies and gentlemen. Come and stock up.
We're making appeals to the planet.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. And, Venus, this is when she goes from being the evening star to the morning star, I believe. So, now she'll be the morning star, I believe, for the next.
Yes.
Yes.
How can you not feel sexy looking at that man?
Lucifer is definitely a lovely.
He is.
Lovely man.
He is. But anyway.
So, Venus, definitely doing some things like that, preparing for that. Banking some love, spending some time with your love, buying a gift for your loved one, where your money is, there will your heart be also, right? So putting all of that energies beforehand, like you said, will help maybe get through that time. But yeah, love energies may be a little bit low. We may be reevaluating a lot of values and how we value ourselves, especially when it comes to business stuff, being in the sign of Capricorn. So if you're not happy with your work, you're not happy with your bosses or your career, or all of that is probably going to be coming up for review. And then, of course, last but not least, Jupiter, the biggest planet in our solar system, is going to move into Pisces on December 28th. This is said to be a very positive transit. We got a little glimpse of it starting on May 19th to July 31st. What I find really funny is, Pisces rules pandemics, but Pisces is also the sign that kind of squashes all boundaries and limits and just is all encompassing, all loving. It's the last sign of the zodiac, encompassing all the 12 signs, right? So on the day that Jupiter went into Pisces in May of this year, that's when all of the regulations were relaxed. Like the mask mandates went away, travel bans and all that were kind of lifted. And then when Jupiter retrograded back into the sign of Aquarius, I think it was July 31st, that's when all the mask mandates came back and all the regulations came back, So, based on just we saw previous this year, they say that this may be a time where things may get a little more lax, or people may get tired of these regulations and kind of go back on them a little bit, fight back a little bit. But hopefully this Jupiter and Pisces transit will be a positive one. People will be a little bit more compassionate, a little bit more wanting inclusive and thinking of the greater good instead of just the rules and rigidness and being fixed and logical in their thinking when Jupiter is in Aquarius. So, but with that, that's in a nutshell, kind of what's happening this month. And
so
that's great.
So financially, moving forward over the next month before we meet again, how are we fixed for finances? I mean, how's it looking? Because a lot of people are stressing. It's holiday. A lot of people are worried about budget because they're gift giving and they're hosting parties and they're, there's a lot of
that's a great question. And I've been tracking the markets, and there's a lot of astrologers out there that probably know more than me about it. But even just with the phases of the moon, the markets tend to swing upward in a new moon, so it's a great time to sell. They tend to swing downward in a full moon, so it's a great time to buy. So even just looking at that, that is it's a very interesting pattern that I learned about just recently. But yeah, going into this upcoming year, that's a great question because we are moving into the North Node focused on Taurus, which is about money, property, investments, and then leaving the South Node behind, which is the chaotic control or manipulation of Scorpio. That's the negative side of Scorpio. But Scorpio also deals with taxes and investments. So, it's funny because I did find a Market Watch article that was talking about how this upcoming year is shaping up to look like 2004, which ironically was 18 years ago. And that's when the last time the North Node was in Taurus and Scorpio. So looking at that time period of when the last time the North Node was in Taurus and Scorpio could really give us a glimpse of how the markets are going to go. Again, we were approaching a bubble at that time in America, and it did lead to a great recession, but that's something to think about. If you guys start seeing your stocks go up and up, maybe get them out, before they crash and burn at the end of this cycle. So something to look into. Cryptocurrency is always very positive. We are at a time right now where literally anybody could become a millionaire. If they put even just a little bit into some kind of crypto or something, you just never know. There's been millionaires happening on the regular through, like you said, these NFTs are crazy to think about, that people are spending thousands of dollars, but it's happening. So why not get a part of it, right? Or why not be a part of that?
More and more people are finding ways either to have a side hustle or to become entrepreneurs. And
Yep.
I myself am no exception. And it's like, I just, I'm loving this energy right now. And I feel like, I was listening this morning, NPR was saying that right now we are at the lowest unemployment that we've been at in, I don't even know how, like in terms of how many people like just put in for unemployment, it's the lowest it's been in, I don't even know how long, and I don't want to, I mean, I don't believe we can have a silver lining regarding a pandemic.
Yeah.
But I do think that's partially in response to the pandemic. I think that the pandemic has changed so many different things regarding how we view what we do for work, how we support ourselves, how we support our families, our lifestyles, what we are or are not willing to put up with from an employer, or do we want to work for ourselves? There's just like so much of that going on. I can't believe that it's not planetary. There's so much happening. There's got to be.
There's been a lot. We have had the privilege of living through a lot of major, like once in a lifetime transits that aren't happening for like centuries and centuries, and including, a lot of people believing that we have crossed over from the age of Pisces into age of Aquarius. Now there is still, some debate on that, but I'm seeing a lot of Aquarian types of themes, just especially when it comes to money and financial. And again, Uranus is the new ruler of Aquarius, but that is the planet of revolution, change, innovation, technology. So being in the sign of money, which is the sign of Taurus, still for another few more years, we're going to really see those Taurus energies with this North Node starting January. I really feel like this cryptocurrency, we're going to see a lot more of that in the next 12 months for sure. I'm really hoping that there isn't going to be like a major bubble and a crash and burn. I mean, I was living in Las Vegas during that time. That was one of the cities that was hit the hardest. I know personally what it was like. But again, forewarned is forearmed, like they say. Better to just, plan ahead and start looking at that sort of thing. This upcoming year, again, we have that Pluto return also, which could really change, I think, is going to change a lot of the way things are done in the United States structure-wise. And it could be a collapse of the way the regular dollar is, which could end up boosting, again, the cryptocurrency world. maybe more people will turn more to that. Who knows? But that's all the type of energy that is in the air right now to look forward to. So we'll see what happens.
Changes. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Tim.
much,
Absolutely.
Happy
My
New-
pleasure, and Happy New Year to you, ladies.
Be well,
And
honey.
yes, and happy
Thank
holidays, of course.
Lots of love.
Right back at you.
So,
So excited.
can't wait.
Can't wait.
And I wish we could be in person because I would love whatever that tea was that she was posting about.
Holy moly.
Oh, I was like, I would love some of that tea. Let's bring on Amy Blackthorn.
Hi, Amy.
Good afternoon now. Hi, how you doing?
Hi. Welcome to the tea.
I'm so excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. Let's spill some tea. How you doing?
Yeah.
Well,
What are you talking
fantastic. Yeah, I was hanging out on the live Witch Lab had last night with Mortellas talking about Santa and all the really fabulous myths, and I just couldn't help it. They had this beautiful eggnog, and I'm like, okay, I don't have eggnog. I need pancakes. So I ran down to the kitchen and I created a tea that tastes just like pancakes for that Christmas morning feeling, so I could get through the rest of my writing for the evening.
Eggnog is one of my favorite things in the entire world. I've actually added eggnog into my pancakes.
Yes.
Are you kidding?
I'm not even.
That sounds amazing.
I'm
was
coming
amazing.
to your house for breakfast, like as soon as that's
I've added it
happening,
instead of
let
milk.
me know.
And it gives it a nice nutmeg, that
Oh
lovely
my
nutmeg.
God.
And you can tell us and tell everyone, Amy, how wonderful is nutmeg for you?
Oh my goodness, it's so incredible. It's warming and it's sexy. And the fabulous part about it is it shreds anything nasty headed your way. The fire just annihilates anything nasty. And you get that beautiful warmth perk up that says, hey, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah,
Is it safe in a if you were to put a boil, like if you wanted to steam? Because I love, like, I will throw a bunch of herbs in a pot of water and just, sort of steam the house. Is nutmeg
Absolutely.
for that?
It
'Cause I
is.
know
It is.
that's
We're
what
not
it's
using
for.
enough to really cause a cloud. Say if you were to compare it to cinnamon incense, that could be really irritating for the lungs. So it's just giving enough moisture to the air so it's not really carrying as far. So it's got a nice concentrated area of effect. The house will smell incredible. And you can pair it with clove, which brings luck into the home.
That's what I do. I love clove, cinnamon sticks, a little bit of the star anise, like the stars. Throw a little bit of that in there. Shake. It's just anything like that. I love to just throw it right in the water. Just throw it in a pot of boiling water and let it just.
Anytime I smell star anise, all I can think about is my Nana and her biscotti cookies.
Oh,
It just
my
says I go right to Nana.
great aunt Josephine used to make anisette cookies that were just the best thing ever. I always like the lemon ones, but it's the only way I eat star anise is in pizzelles.
Oh my gosh! Don't we have a recipe for that in Reading the Leaves?
Yes, we
The
do.
pizzelles.
Yeah, the pizzelles.
Yes.
Yeah, we have Pizzelli.
We have a beautiful recipe from Leanne's family in Reading the Leaves. Guys, honestly, even if you're not interested in reading tea leaves, just get the book for the recipes. Leanne's family recipes, my family recipes. My people were begging me for my mom's whoopie pie recipe. It's in there. Amazing recipes from venues that we've hosted our events at. Incredible, delectable stuff for vegetarians. Just whatever. Like, get the book just for the recipes alone. It's worth it.
So tell us about your protection book.
Oh yes.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. So
Oh, yes.
I have the best editor on this planet. Judika is, those of you who, Judika Isles is an author and she's a tarotist. She's done everything. So her 5,000 spells was one of the first introduction that a lot of people had to her work. And so I can remember buying this the minute it came out and just engulfing myself in all this knowledge. So when I had the opportunity to work with her, I mean, we've been friends for probably over 10 years now. So when I brought this idea forward, said, hey, I really want to talk about protection magic. I really want to find some of the nuance that I have in my professional life in my personal and sort of bring those both together. And she said, that sounds great. And she brought my proposal to the publishing board, which you guys know about that process. only she made a little addition that I didn't expect. And she let them know, I've been working in executive protection for over 15 years. I've been working in private security, like the private sector, teaching self-defense classes. I got my black belt at 21. She was able to say, hey, look, like there's this little niggling piece that you're missing. Like, let's bring that forward. And I was so excited because my mundane life and my magical life are sort of veering together in this one book that really extends the experience of working as a protection magic specialist, and it lends itself to the real world. There's so much that gets left out because we like to think about ourselves as magical people, and we, you know, the mundane world is so sad, and I want to be magical all the time. You only get one world. Let's bring it all together. Let's bring it.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree
Yeah.
more. Could not agree more. I think as a witch, everything I do, I bring my magic. So whatever it is, I'm infusing that into what I'm doing. So even when I'm doing something other people would find mundane, like copy editing or something that is not, you know, copy editing in the financial industry, which I've done for years and years and years, which a lot of people wouldn't find magical until they realize it's all about the prosperity, right? It's just Jupiterian. And sometimes Saturnian at times, with, you know, with the way things happen, the boundaries and the, you know, and the ideas of duty and responsibility and like reporting responsibilities and stuff like that. I'm like, this might not outwardly seem magical to you. It's magical. It's something that it allows people to live their dreams. It empowers them. It's a form of power. Anything that's a form of power, anything that's a form of control, we're veering into magic very quickly there. So I greatly appreciate the idea that you're being able to bring something like that into this book, is basically saying, hey, everybody, remember, like every minute of the day, you are an agent of magic. You are bringing your will into what you're doing. And if you're not, and you're just sleeping through it, wake up and realize that everything that you're doing is a piece of that magic. You know, so I find that fascinating. I want to talk to you specifically. I have a very specific question for you because Leanne and I talk a lot about protecting empaths, psychics, people that are psychically sensitive, people. I've had so many clients sit across from me to get a reading, and I realize that why they're a big part of their anxiety and a big part of why they're in distress is that they're being bombarded with psychic information they don't know how to process because they haven't learned the skills to form any kind of filters and boundaries for themselves. And even some professionals that have entered into the professional world of being a psychic are still failing at boundaries. And in specific, when you answer this, I would love to talk specifically about how empaths and other psychically sensitive people can protect themselves very specifically against narcissists, because I'm seeing so much of this lately online with people really asking, how do we, you know, empaths are like the caviar of the narcissistic supply, right? So how can we better arm these people against that kind of drain on their power?
My favorite thing to go for is plants. Obviously, I write all the books about plant magic, but there's so many different layers between what we think of as protection, what we think of as protective energies. If a plant can protect itself, it can protect you. So our baneful plants, our, you know, potentially poisonous allies, something with thorns or any magical output that they have says, hey, I can take care of myself. It's a great way, especially if you have a dedicated space to layer in that protection. So those blackberry canes at the very back of my yard, those are great to cut and form X's over the doorways into the home so it can snag up any of that loose energy and put it to some good use. But that phallic symbolism says, hey, we're not doing this anymore. Like, this is where the buck stops. So raspberry canes, blackberries, anything really thorny, those beautiful rose bushes that are out on the edge of the property, guess what? They need to be cut back pretty hard every couple of years so that they can continue to grow, which means that makes perfect snipping time for building in those protections, building in those layering into your materials. So one of my favorite ones to work with, I worked in a shop just like Pentagram for probably 5 years. In my own room, I was able to set it up as pretty much as well as I could. But one of the things that I love to do is I'd make different oils and different sprays for that space that said, this is where those boundaries live. Because narcissists are insidious at sort of worming their way in and saying, hey, this is a problem you have. I'm going to fix it for you so you feel indebted to them. So by using something like lavender that reveals secrets is also protective, but it really removes that mask that they put out that says, hey, I'm someone that you need in your life. Lavender seems so benign and calming, and we think about how lovely it smells, but in reality, it is tearing away that face the narcissist put on to feed on us.
It's an antiseptic. Gets
Yes.
away.
Right?
Any infection. It's good for
Absolutely.
infections.
I love to pair it with clove. If you're using lavender as a whole bud rather than an essential oil, make sure you grind it up first. It acts more like a seed than a flower. They actually explode. I'm sure you've noticed the little popping. So try and grind it up a little bit so you're not causing a fire. But I love pairing it with clove because of that, not just the protection aspect, but it has the psychic development layer that blocks out that reward system that our brain gets when a narcissist pays us attention. So it cuts off that reward system and says,
bingo.
no more free meals, buddy.
That is key. That's key right there. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's exciting.
That's
You have an exciting book.
That's great.
I can't wait to get it.
I'm in the mood for some lavender tea.
Yes.
I'm in the mood for some lavender tea. I've even made lavender cookies. You can
I will
even
tell you the easiest thing, one of my favorite tips I have ever put in any of my books is you can make any recipe a lavender recipe. Just add 1 teaspoon of dried lavender flowers per 1 cup of sugar in your recipe. You can have lavender lemonade, sugar cookies, pizzelles. You can have lavender everything.
You're kidding me. Lavender pizzelles?
All right.
Imagine that.
Right.
With that.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
I'm done. Getting it. I'm making it.
I love it. Guys, you can get a Pizzelli maker on Amazon. Like you can.
There's 2 kinds.
Yeah. Okay.
There are 2 kinds. There is the electrical one, and then there's the handheld one that you stand for an hour.
It's got that little flanged base. You just put it on the burner.
You get the one that's like a waffle maker. Very first time I made my own pizzelles, they were this thick. They were still delicious, but they weren't pizzelles.
Oh my gosh. Kimberly is saying that there is lavender vodka lemonade.
That
What?
sounds
Cocktails.
I need that recipe, please.
I don't recommend ingesting
Everyone
essential
wants
oils.
that. Yes, everyone would like. Yes, please. Yes, please. would like that recipe.
And
Speaking of recipes,
I would like to ask you about, and it's a book you wrote a while ago, but we can't keep the botanicals book in the store. The recipes are fun. They're protective. Yes.
awesome. Go ahead.
Yes.
What's the question?
Tell me your favorite herb, your favorite spell in there. What's your favorite?
I always feel bad because I try not to have favorites, but I'll tell you what, writing basil opened up my brain in a way that I hadn't anticipated at all. I already loved working with lemon balm, and I wrote 20 pages worth of lemon balm. I'm just still writing, and I'm looking at the word count going, that's like 3 chapters. I need to do something with that. But you can really tell frankincense was a huge part of my brain and my process. So what I do is I'd come into my office and I'd grab whichever essential oil I was working with that day. I'd put it in my diffuser and just do 1 a day 1,500 words, try and get, like 10 pages of good manuscript, go. I didn't realize what time it was. Time ceased to have any meaning. I'm just still writing about lemon balm. We talk about that it's got sedative properties and it's very gentle. It's associated with Diana. And no matter how much I put into it, it just felt like there was another thing and another thing. We have so much compassion fatigue from living in a pandemic for the last 2 years that we should just be issuing bottles of lemon balm essential oil for that emotional support that we're not getting from literally anywhere else.
It really has been trying on many levels for everyone, really. I mean, no one's immune to what's happened. It's just permeated every aspect of our society. So it really is. I mean, you talked a little bit about the compassion fatigue. We even talked about having decision fatigue in the beginning of it. Just a fatigue in general. I mean, just the idea of how to keep our own personal energy up. Is there a tea or a thing that you would specifically recommend to people who are feeling, I think people who have had COVID, I know long haulers and people who are still trying to bounce back. I feel like, keeping, especially, I don't know about anybody else, but when we're in this time of year, as soon as the sun starts going down, I start losing my gumption to do certain things. And I suddenly want to cocoon up with my cats and just be like, a little, just like a little bundle, and I still want to be able to go. Like I think Libras like me have two speeds. We have like go and stop, like crash, and I still want to be able to go a lot. But I can't do anything that makes me jittery. I don't like caffeine. I don't take caffeine at all. What would you recommend for a tea? And it can be a blend of things, but what would you recommend for a tea for people that really need to bring their energy and their vibe level up to be able to still be working on projects and things that they want to accomplish in this dark time of the year?
Right now, my favorite is it's Ostara. It's a creamy lemon rooibos base with the comfort and solidarity of vanilla to sort of mellow out the sharpness of that lemon. So it sort of tastes like a lemon pound cake. It's really lovely. It's a rooibos base, so there's no additional stimulants, but you have the uplifting aroma of the lemon that's really going to say, hey, let me take your hand and let's do this together.
It's energizing.
It is. It has it's not just the sharpness that we associate with a fresh cut lemon. It's really that nurturing, wholesome that lives around your chest that says, hey, let's move together as a people, not just, okay, I guess I got to do more stuff.
Yep. And lemon is another one that's a good purifier, cleanser. So
absolutely.
I feel like that along, that also sort of falls along with our protection theme that we're discussing today. That the lemon, keeps the crap away.
Yes. My favorite recipe in the book for this is called Earthly Delights. It's got a wooden base, but it has the lightness of clary sage and geranium and lemon, saying, hey, let's do this all together. So the cedar wood helps with the clairvoyant aspect of getting over the decision fatigue and saying, okay, this is the right piece for me. So that's 4 drops of cedar wood, then 3 drops of vetiver. For the grounding, it's hex breaking, but it's a very commanding essential oil. It says, hey, this is what we're doing. It's very final. We're making those decisions and we're moving forward together with it. So then 5 drops of clary sage for retention of your personhood, saying I'm in charge of my own body. I'm moving forward. 2 drops of geranium for blessings and harmony, and then 15 drops of lemon.
Boom!
Increases your personal power, brings clarity to the issues that you're dealing with, and really reveals, remember that acid in the lemon, reveals anything that's trying to hide behind the scenes.
I'm absolutely making that.
I'm down. Can you make me
absolutely making that.
That sounds delicious. And do
I
you
will
have
tell
any
you.
Ooh,
Go ahead.
what page? Do you have any recommendations?
What page is that?
Yeah, what page?
What page is that on?
Because I have your book.
That will be in Cedarwood. I'll tell you a secret since we're talking about it.
Yeah.
There's a recipe index in the back. Really fantastic. Very helpful. It breaks everything up by your magical need, your intention. So if you're looking for something for emotional well-being, you can look in that section. But what it does is there's no page numbers on it, because when I wrote this index, there were no pages yet. So what I did was I went through and I told you where in which section you could find it. So comfort food, which is grapefruit and delicious, to look in grapefruit for it. But what that does, completely unintentionally, I'm just taking credit for it. It's a ready-made substitution list. So if you have an emotional well-being recipe that you're looking for and you're out of bay, guess what? There's a whole list of things you can really just tuck in there that work just perfectly.
Because
Very good.
Sandra's allergic to peppermint,
Right.
and I've often wondered what we could substitute if we wanted to do something different.
There you go. And so
Thank
then you can get that right from there. Perfect.
Yeah.
I am deathly allergic to roses. My whole family is all my mother, 4 sisters, deathly. My dear friend Michael thinks that I must have assassinated the Pope in a former life. He's like, this is the most grievous of sins, to be allergic to vanilla, to be allergic to rose. Those really common, beautiful products. And so I really love that we have the opportunity to just look at a glance and say, hey, I can't have that, but let's go for grapefruit. It has the same feeling, that it's resonating in your chest when it's really right. Easy peasy.
I love it.
I love it.
That's fantastic.
And with the holidays coming up, we have Yule in a couple of days. Anything you'd recommend which is good to serve, especially if you have friends who are vegetarians or vegans?
Oh my goodness, yes. The understanding where we're trying to bring everybody together and create this massive following of everyone bringing together and bringing those warmth and love and light that they may not have had growing up. And we're parenting ourselves. We're making sure that we're taking care of everyone. Going through even the littlest thing like a crudité, little platters of vegetables. Guess what? We are still magical people. You can julienne those carrots and put them in sigil shapes. We can really take our magical hostessing and put it forward in such a way that everybody gets to feel included. And if you're looking at hosting a gathering, one of the things that I would really love, you can diffuse tangerine. Essential oil is also called, it's also sold as mandarin. Diffusing something citrusy and light really gets people to mix and mingle in the crowd rather than just cling to the person they came with. So it allows people to open up, to talk, to express themselves, and still feel like they're part of the greater conversation. So make sure that you're taking the time to not just display, but really show your chutzpah as a witch and say, look, we're going to make this whole thing magically credited. Rather than just saying, okay, the croutons can go over here. Let's bring it all together and really show that when we are able to come together as witches, as pagans, as whoever, we have the ability to bridge a lot of those gaps.
Communication is the key to bridging those gaps. And I think we're in a time now of letting go of old thoughts and welcoming in new friends and old friends that have kind of us away.
Yeah.
So, and food, can't help it, I am a foodie, is a great way for people to break bread together. Because when you do that, you have trust. You have trust if you're eating someone else's food. But
right,
I am going to tell you, I'm going to be making veggie platters in the shapes of different things.
I love it.
Different things.
It's
going to look weird. I'll send you a picture.
There's going to be
fantastic.
There will be photos. There'll be food porn.
Check the Facebook. Check the Instagram.
Some of it will be scary because I'm just starting. I'm just starting making pretty things.
Listen, we all start something new, right? nobody's ever, you can't expect to be awesome at something right out the gate. You have to be willing to suck at something if you want to get good at it. You have to try. You have to be, you have to just say, hey, I'm going to give this a shot, and who knows, So it's like, yeah, this is the spirit that we need to be in this Sagittarius season. It's
Yes, be the adventurer.
Aim your arrow, let it fly, and what's the worst that can happen? Aim for the stars, like the sky's the limit, folks.
Absolutely.
It's time to, never mind New Year's resolutions of like how you're gonna whatever, forget the Planet Fitness and all this other stuff. Let's talk about like, what do we want to try? What new things can we try? What new ways can we express ourselves? And how can we love ourselves better in 2022? Like, that's what I want to hear about, and I'm not poo-pooing getting healthy. Absolutely get healthy. But I'm saying like, leave those tired old resolutions behind and get some ideas about new things you want to do to like be creative. I feel so alive when I'm creating something. I get in touch with a part of me. It just, that's just like mother's milk to me. If I'm creating something, I'm in my happy space. And I feel like we lose track of some of these things. Maybe we back burner a lot of stuff because we feel like we don't have time. We have to make time, and we have to say, even if I can only devote 1 hour a week to this, if it's something that makes my soul sing, why am I not doing it? Like, let me find a time that I can carve out of my day or my week or even my month. I have friends that I'm basically saying, look, we've got to pencil this in. Like we need at least once a month where we just go out and we just do our thing for like 5 hours and we disappear and we just go. And I'm like reconnecting with people and saying like, we've gotten the pandemic has spread everybody so, apart from each other. Let's reel it back in and get back in the habit of being able to connect with each other, safely. So it's like anything that brings people together. That's one of the reasons we wrote Reading the Leaves. And that's one of the reasons that was our first book, is that was a method of divination that also just brought people together. We had such success teaching large groups of people and at small gatherings as well, with people enjoying that magic together. It's a together kind of a thing. Yeah, you can do it alone. It's a solo. You can solo read tea leaves. In fact, I find a lot of psychics say they have a better time doing that than reading their own tarot. But it's like, one of the really fun things for us was going around and seeing everybody looking in each other's cups. Do you read tea leaves? You make a million.
Yes.
You read tea leaves.
One of my favorite things is teaching. I used to teach tea leaf reading at like steampunk conventions, and people like, okay, I really want to understand what this is. Where do we go for it? So it was a lot of fun to get people who had no experience with anything intuitive and said, okay, I really can do this. It's so neat. It's there's one of my favorite tarot decks is the Housewives Tarot.
Okay.
Bar none, love it. Super kitschy, gingham backed, very 50s styling. The devil is a cake with cheesecake pinup legs, very cute. But I love handing this deck to students who say, I'm completely headblind. I've never been able to intuit anything. I can't read tarot. Like, why am I broken? Like, you're not broken. You just need to give yourself some credit. And finding decks like that are out of left field make a great introduction for those students. So when you're working with tea leaves, they can really, they give themselves permission to work with that symbolism.
Yes.
I'll just write them a note.
Such luck, even with what we call the husbands who wind up getting dragged to the event. They're in town, they're in Salem, they're on vacation. The wives really want to go to this. So they're like, okay, I guess we're going to this thing. At least there's going to be food there. I'm sure that's what they're thinking. They walk in and they're just kind of like, but by the end of it, they too are looking in their cups, and they too are saying, oh yeah, I see that in your cup, and they actually do get into it, and we talk about that in the book. It's like, there's so much fear that people have about certain methods of divination. They're scared of the Ouija board. They're scared of the tarot cards. There's so much. But who's scared of a cup of tea? What's
Exactly.
scary about a cup of tea?
Sorry. Maybe my teeth people shouldn't drink always.
Everyone's bitters are different.
Oh, you said it.
Well,
It's just
Amy,
like-
come back to
Oh my
Salem and
gosh.
come and visit us here. We're hoping to have you teach a class at the store, and we would love to have you, and also just to go out for dinner.
It has. I just looked it up. It has been 15 years since we met.
Yeah. I met Amy on the night I met Chris. We
Really?
first hung out. Yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of cocktails.
That was a good night.
I was there.
Oh my
You were-
goodness!
I was there.
You left.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
hooked up.
Wow.
Hi, honey.
Oh my God.
Remember Amy?
Oh, that was so great.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
So let us, get together and
That's
reconnect.
crazy.
Thank you so
So
much.
excited. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
thank you. It was super fun. I think people got a lot out of it. Looks like Kimberly shared the cocktail recipe, guys.
Yay. I'm going to grab that.
All right.
Thank you.
Lou, can you cut and paste that into our private chat?
Please.
I totally
Yeah,
want
take care of that.
Lou, save that one, please. I love it. All right. So great to have you, Amy. And good
One more
luck with the
time.
book. I love that we each have books coming out in March. I think that's fantastic. Congratulations. And I'm sure we'll run into you on the circuit. I don't know if are you presenting at anything in 2022?
Yes, I'm really excited. The last weekend in January is Sacred Space / Between the Worlds. We've got 2 conferences for the price of one. We're taking over an entire hotel in Hunt Valley, Maryland. It's one of my favorite conferences, but they only do the Between the World piece of the additional conference for certain astrological events. So I'm really excited. This will be my first event in 2.5 years. So I am overjoyed.
Congratulations. Tell people how to pre-order your book.
You can check out amyblackthorn.com. We've got lots of pre-order links. You can hit indiebound.com where it'll take you to your local bookstore. So if you want to support independent bookstores, there's also links for the major retailers that can ship to you. It'll be out March 1st. Remember, those pre-orders don't get charged until they actually ship, so you don't have to have the money today. It's really important that people understand that I want people to have access to this information, because this is things like how to escape duct tape, handcuffs, zip ties. Someone is threatening your actual person. We want to make sure that this is not going to stand. I want to make sure that you get home safely. That's our job, is to come home safe at the end of the day. So even if you've been practicing for 1,000,000 years, there's going to be things in there like how to lose a tail and how to ditch a stalker that we need right now.
I love it.
Thank you.
Women empowering women, Amy, especially.
Yes.
I mean,
Women empowering women.
obviously anyone can use this information, but our mission right now is to lift up female voices. So very happy to have you on today. Thanks so much. And
Thank you.
awesome. And everybody that tuned in, thank you so much. And
Thank
Amy, the archives will be available. So if you want to tell people, hey, if you missed it live and you didn't get to chat live, they can watch the playback anytime.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. See you all next year.
Well, yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We
Yeah.
won't see anybody until 2022.
Yeah.
So, but you can always find us on Facebook and Instagram. And and pretty soon you can even see me on TikTok. So
Awesome. If you want a reading, Pentagram's open every day of the week. Give us a call. Thank you so much.
Bye.